Should I join a team? I get this question all the time from new agents, agents that have been maybe struggling, maybe they moved to a new location. If I'm describing you, you're going to want to watch this video because I'm going to give you some really quick tips on whether or not you should join a team, and if you choose to join a team, how to find one. So let's jump right in. I'll walk you through everything you need to know about how to join a team and get rocking. Okay, so before we do that, as usual, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're always doing our best to bring you the best, most relevant information on all things real estate. And here today, we're talking all about teams. So if you have any questions, if you're concerned, if you think what I say is wrong or right, whatever it is, make sure that you drop a comment in the comment section below. And also share this video with anybody who might be toggling with the idea of joining a team. All right, so let's jump right in. First of all, should you join a team or not? Well, that's a personal thing, but I'll give you some guidelines. Generally, teams are going to help with one major issue. Doesn't mean this is the only thing they do, and it doesn't mean all of them do it well. But a big one is generating consistent opportunity flow. Usually that's in the form of leads. They might have online leads coming, direct calls. They might have a call center that's generating that. They might do seminars and webinars and all these other things and running mailers, all that stuff. And so one of the big components of joining a team oftentimes is, do they provide leads? Well, here's what I would say is that if you don't have a really good understanding of how to market and generate leads on a consistent basis, you might want to consider a team. In addition to that, if you don't have all the time in the world to go making a ton of calls and knocking a ton of doors and hoping to build a really big database, and then that eventually turns into transactions, well, in that case, you might also want to join a team. In addition to that, if you feel like you really don't know where you should be starting and your brokerage isn't going to be providing a very obvious path for you to generate business, then again, you might want to consider joining a team. Now, here's the reasons you also might want to consider joining a team is that you're frankly unaware of what you don't know in the real estate business specific to you're a lead generator now. You are a marketer. I don't know if you knew that. And maybe you're just starting your journey and maybe I'm awakening something in you that, I don't know, maybe it's even turning you off in real estate, but it's the reality. You are not a real estate salesperson. You are a marketer first in order to generate opportunities so that you can show people and be their real estate professional, right? And so the reality is that one of the biggest gaps in real estate is generating consistent, predictable, reliable lead flow. And that's where a lot of teams come in and they're helpful. Now, here's some situations where you might not need a team. Maybe you have a marketing background. Maybe you were in another profession like mortgage or insurance where you have a huge database full of people who trust you as a professional and handle big financial decisions. Maybe you're a financial planner and you have that database and the trust of the people within that database to market to them in a way that they would choose you. And you also have some type of budget where you can set up systems and begin to market and advertise to that group of people. Then you might not need a team. In addition to that, maybe you do have a ton of time and experience and fortitude to go out and make cold calls every single day, knock doors all the time. Maybe, now this is a different situation, maybe you're a deacon at your church or you're a member of the PTA and you're really well known as somebody that people know, like, and trust inside of a specific community and you want to turn that into your lead source. I think those are great things, right? You can actually capitalize on those because people already know you, like you, and trust you. And now you're just showing them a different part of you, which is, hey, I can also help you with your real estate needs, not just teach your kid how to pitch a baseball, right? And so those are situations where if you have that background, you have some money saved up so that you can market, you have already had a marketing degree or marketing background or experience, you're an extremely dedicated and really disciplined salesperson who is willing to go and get a bunch of no's before they get some yeses, then in those cases, you might not need a team. It's still something you should consider, and I would consider interviewing teams in your local marketplace. But at the end of the day, you might want to actually just take it out on your own. Now, here's some reasons that people don't join teams that I think are complete nonsense. I mean, straight up, there's probably a more aggressive word I can use for that, but I choose not to. But here's the reality, that splits should never be something that stops you from joining a team that has value. One of the big things I hear a lot is, well, I can't share my commission. I can't share that much of my commission. I hear agents tell that to team leaders. I've heard it when I was recruiting to my team. I probably will hear it next week when I'm recruiting to my team. Well, here's something you have to remember. is that if you're not generating business, you don't have any commission to give away in the first place. And in addition to that, let's say you're interviewing Ron. Ron, he's a team leader. He has lead flow coming in, and he says, hey, I'm going to ask you for 50% of your commission or the commission when you close a deal from a lead that I give you. Well, you might think, I don't want to give Ron 50% of my commission. The truth is, that's completely wrong. Ron could take that lead and close it himself. I mean, let's be real. He didn't build a team because he sucks at real estate, and he's the one who generated the lead. So isn't it Ron who's actually sharing his commission with you? Right? Because Ron could just go ahead and close that deal, keep 100% of it. Instead, he says, you know what? I trust that I'm going to train this person really well, and they're going to actually convert it, and they're going to keep 50% of the commission that I would have otherwise kept. So in other words, Ron is the one taking the haircut, not you. You have to think about it that way. What does it look like to partner up with somebody? So instead of looking at the commission split as a cost of doing business with that team, you got to look at it as, what's my ROI? I'm making an investment in my partnership with this person. And so what am I getting as a return on that investment? And my investment is a portion of my commissions, right? So you really have to start thinking. Don't just go split calling around, right? Don't go to team. What are your splits? What are your splits? What are your splits? What are your splits? That's an important piece. But more than that, you should say, what are your splits and what's the return I get for that portion of my commissions, right? Of our commissions. Are you giving me leads? Do you have a transaction manager? Do you pay for listing photography? Do I pay for staging? What does that look like, right? And in reality, there's a lot of variables in there. But what I want to encourage you to do is interview teams. They do not bite, right? And you also want to ask them some really critical questions. Here's the 3 critical questions you got to ask them. And then we'll bring this video to an end pretty shortly. Number 1, can I do X? Now, X is the thing you want to accomplish. So it's probably something monetary. Hey, can I make $200,000 a year on this team or at this brokerage? But let's just use teams for an example. And they should, almost all of them are going to say yes. They're all going to say yes because they want to tell you like, yeah, you're going to make a bunch of money here. And you go, great. What would that plan be for me? That's question 2. What would the plan look like for me? Can you show me a version of the plan for me to get to there? And this is where rubber meets the road. Anybody could say yes to that first question. But here, do they have a comprehensive plan? Is it a one-size-fits-all? Do they have a way to customize it? You really want to suss out what's going on there. And then third, this is the most critical question. So they're going to say, yeah, well, you can make $200,000 a year, and here's the plan, and I'll write it out. And you're going to go to this training, and then you're going to do this, and you're going to get access to these types of leads, and we're going to help you with this, this, and that. Okay, great. Sounds good. Can you introduce me to at least one agent that you've taken from where I'm at to where I want to go, or some similar path using a similar plan to the one you just laid out? That's going to be the crux. If they turn around and go, yep, let me introduce you to Dante. And Dante was in a very similar situation. He was a personal trainer at a gym. He got his real estate license. He came over. He did X, Y, and Z. His first year, he made $82,000. His second year, he made $168,000. And then his third year, he made $213,000. And he followed a very similar... Dude, that's an amazing team. That's a phenomenal thing. And keep in mind, who cares about what Dante's splits were? He accomplished the thing he set out to do, be consistent, predictable, reliable with his income. He saw it going up and up and up year over year over year, right? Using a plan that they gave him. That's amazing. If you can show me that, I don't really care what the splits are. I don't care if they're 99% to the team and only 1% to me. If I can get there and it's a reasonable path, awesome, this is my team. The challenge is most teams, when you get to that third question, they're going to go, ooh, and they're going to be wanting. They're not going to have somebody easily to pull in and go, yeah, talk to this person. They were able to do that with our plan. The question of should you join a team is a personal one, but hopefully I gave you some value in terms of like, hey, if you need specialized training, if you want to break into a specific niche, or more importantly, if you want to help fill the gap in your pipeline with opportunity, that's a big thing that teams are going to help you do. Now, here's the challenges with teams is it's their brand. They run the show. It's their systems, their CRM, their branding, their color scheme, all that. You're going to have to use that. And sometimes that'll bump up against your ego, but I wouldn't let that get in the way from at least exploring teams, right? Other times, you're going to really have a vision for what it is you wanted to build. You had this logo picked out in your mind. You had these other things picked out in your mind. Well, okay. That's great, and you can hold on to those things, but you have to figure out, is it worth letting go of those things to get back something like leads or additional training? an office space, whatever they provide. You always have to figure out what are the trade-offs I'm willing to trade off for. Now, keep in mind, teams aren't always forever. Most people don't stay on the team, the same team that is, for 10 years, 20 years, right? But it's a great place to start. So if you're thinking about joining a team, know that there's some critical questions you got to ask. In addition to that, think about it in terms of ROI instead of cost. And if you want to be partnered up with some of the best teams in the entire country and Canada, reach out to me. Go into the description below. Click that link. Book some one-on-one time with me. I'm connected with some of the biggest teams across the country at my company, LPT, but also all the other ones. EXP, Keller Williams, Real, Compass, you name it. I network with a lot of them. I'm happy to connect you with somebody in your local area and coach you through whether or not I think you should be part of a team and maybe even which team you might consider joining. So until next time, hopefully this helps answer your questions about whether or not you should join a team. Now, other questions you might have, like which CRM are they using and all this other stuff, I don't know that that's that relevant, right? Because if they're seeing success and you can make $200,000 or hit your income goal with them after a year or two of being on their team, I don't think it really matters what systems they're using as long as you can see your path to your success. Now, here's the one last piece. This is the bonus piece right here. I help team leaders. So if you're a team leader watching this video, I provide a platform for all of us to grow because I've run some of the biggest teams in the entire country, and I'm actually merging with the #1 team in all of Arizona here shortly. We're going to launch a new hub here in San Diego. And so I'm building this network of people that really are excited to grow. So if you're a team leader, you're thinking about starting a team, hit me up, grab some time one-on-one. We'll just chat for 15, 20 minutes, see if this is something that you would benefit from because we are building some really massive stuff, some tools together. And I'd love to share that with you. So until next time, keep on crushing it.